The Old Pre-Meds podcast is part of the MedEd Media Network at mededmedia.com. This is the Old Pre-Meds podcast, session number 66. You're a non-traditional student entering the medical field on your terms. You may have had some hiccups along the way, but now you're ready to change course and go back and serve others as a physician. This podcast is here to help answer your questions and help educate you on your non-traditional journey to becoming a physician. Now, welcome to the Old Pre-Meds podcast. My name is Dr. Ryan Gray, and I am the host here at the Old Pre-Meds podcast, as well as several other podcasts on the MedEd Media Network. If you haven't checked out those other podcasts, you should if you're a pre-med, and I'm assuming you're a pre-med because you're listening to this podcast. Go check out the Pre-Med Years, the MCAT podcast, and our newest podcast, Specialty Stories. And we have a new podcast on our network that's not hosted by me, the Shortcoat podcast, which is an awesome podcast put on by the University of Iowa Carver College of Medicine. We take questions here at the Old Pre-Meds podcast. We take questions directly from the oldpremeds.org forums. So if you don't have an account over there, go sign up. It's free, it's easy, great community, and we'll answer your question, hopefully, here on this podcast. The question that I got today is one from a student asking about their path and what they should be doing. So they said, the title of the post is Non-Traditional Medical School Applicant, which would make sense because this is Old Pre-Meds, and that is the definition of non-traditional applicant. So it says, "Hello, I am stuffling." I'm not sure what stuffling is supposed to mean. In deciding whether or not to retake my science courses online. I took most classes, bio and general chem, about 10 years ago and recently took some courses to prep for the MCAT. I took the MCAT 2 years ago and scored a 500. My question is, I want to retake all science classes to help me prepare better for the MCAT, but unfortunately I can't do daytime classes because I work and have a family to support, and the schools where I live do not offer these classes in the evening. Will it be okay if I took these classes online? Will medical schools accept them, or am I better off not retaking these courses? My science GPA is 3.7 and my overall is 3.9. I really want to apply to medical school as soon as possible, as I am 31, but I really need a bit more review on physics, as that is my weakest point. Any advice would be helpful. All right, so a couple things here. Retaking the MCAT is obviously a huge endeavor. Scoring a 500 is not a great score, but it's a score, and a 3.7, 3.9 is a great GPA. What's interesting, this poster said I took most classes, but only mentioned bio and general chemistry. So I'm wondering if they fully understand all of the prereqs for medical school. I'm assuming yes. But I just find it weird that they pointed out just bio and general chem. So things like biochemistry, now with the new MCAT, having psychology and sociology and organic chemistry, biochemistry, making sure all of those classes are there. Some medical schools are adding some of those psychology, sociology classes to their prereqs. So that may be something else to look into. This question comes up a lot, taking online prereqs. And we actually covered something similar back in session 18, if you want to go back and listen to the opmpodcast.com/18 about online degrees. Now, this isn't an online degree. This student is talking about just online courses to supplement her previous courses to give this person a better foundation for the MCAT. My biggest piece of advice is to go look at the MSAR for MD schools. If you Google AAMC MSAR and look at the requirements for each of the schools, they will tell you whether or not they accept online courses. Now, this situation is a little different because they did well, this student did well in his or her courses to begin with. Let's assume that they did take all of the prereqs and not just the bio and general chemistry. So let's assume they did well, and they're just taking the online courses not to boost their GPA, but for a refresher. That could be something I would ask the medical school. Maybe there's a medical school that they really want to go to, and the MSAR says, nope, we don't accept online courses. I would still reach out to that school and say, look, here's my situation. I did well in my previous classes. They're older. Will you take these older classes? And will it be okay if I take online courses now, not for boosting my GPA or anything, even though it will have that effect a little bit, but really just to prepare for the MCAT. So that's one option. Another option is just apply and see what happens. A 500 is an average MCAT score. It's the average. It's the definition. And so it's not great, and it will limit what schools will look at you. But that's one option. And the last option is, instead of spending money on online courses, spend the money on a MCAT prep course. And use the MCAT prep course materials to relearn the information that you need to learn. And if I were in this person's shoes, that's probably the route I would go. I would self-teach myself. I would go and use Khan Academy videos online. I would take a look at the massive online open courses, I think they're called, the MOOCs, and from like Stanford and MIT, and see if they have any physics courses online that you can basically take an MIT physics course for free anytime you need it. So I would look at what online resources are out there, and I would self-teach myself through those online resources and through the study material from these courses. And so Next Step Test Prep, go look at them. They have their new MCAT class, which is teaching you the material online at your own pace. And they also have online office hours 5 days a week to have your questions answered. It's got a ton of material, more than the other big name companies, and it's cheaper. And you can even save some money by using the code MSHQ. So go check them out, nextsteptestprep.com. Use the code MSHQ. Check out their new MCAT class. That may be the next bet to self-teach yourself. So lots of options. I hope that helps. I always try to shy away from online courses, just as a rule of thumb. So something to think about, and I hope that helps you on your journey. If you have a question, go to oldpremeds.org, register for an account, ask away. It's a great community there, and hopefully you joining will be a welcome addition. I hope you have a great week. Don't forget to check out everything else that we're doing on the MedEd Media Network at mededmedia.com.